Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
There is just something about an unsolved mystery, isn't there? Sure, it's great when you eventually find out why something happened the way it did, but man, the idea of an event taking place without an immediate, plausible explanation just sends those debating skills into overdrive. Number 8. Mary Celeste, 1872. On November 7, 1872, Captain Benjamin Briggs and the crew of the Mary Celeste, a merchant ship with a cargo of denatured alcohol, had left New York Harbor for Genoa, Italy. He brought 7 hand-picked crew along with his wife and daughter. They would never reach their destination. After leaving New York, the Mary Celeste battled its way through treacherous seas and howling winds for 2 weeks. Then, on November 25th, the captain entered what would be the last entry in the log. At the time, nothing was amiss. On December 5, 1872, while sailing through rough water, the British brig Dei Gratia sighted a seemingly abandoned ship drifting through the Atlantic near the Azores Islands about 1,000 miles west of Portugal. When the crew of the Dei Gratia boarded the Mary Celeste, they found everything in perfect order, even with the crew's clothes neatly packed away. Yet no people anywhere to be found. What's more, the ghost ship was still seaworthy, and the crew of the Dei Gratia split up, and together the 2 ships sailed to Gibraltar, where they could claim salvage rights under maritime law. Why was the ship abandoned? It was perfectly seaworthy. There were 6 months of food and water aboard. The crew's belongings were stowed away. The captain would only abandon ship in the direst circumstances, and the circumstances certainly didn't seem dire. This would remain a mystery for nearly a century and a half. Some believed that the crew had drunk the alcohol and mutinied, but there was no sign of violence. Some said the ship must have been raided by pirates, but no valuables were missing. Arthur Conan Doyle's short story on the subject detailed an ex-slave capturing the ship. But where did he and everyone else go? Sea monsters and waterspouts were also proposed. Number 7. Shroud of Turin. For centuries, Christians had believed the Shroud of Turin was used to wrap Jesus Christ's deceased body in after he had died. Measuring 4.3 meters long and 1.1 meters wide, it seems to portray 2 faint brownish images, those of the back and front of a gaunt, sunken-eyed 5'7" man bearing a striking resemblance to Jesus Christ, as if a body had been laid lengthwise along one half of the shroud, while the other half had been doubled over the head to cover the whole front of the body from face to feet. Records of the shroud begin in 1390, when a bishop wrote to the anti-pope that the shroud was a forgery and that its creator confessed. Modern scientific analysis has shown that the shroud's material dates back at least as far as 1390. Although there is evidence that alterations were made to the cloth during the Middle Ages and that the cloth may be much older. Many theories exist as to the event that created the face on the cloth, and no evidence of dyes have been found by researchers. Some think it formed naturally as the cloth fibers darkened over time, while still others believe it to be a blood stain. Evidence of blood and human DNA have been found by forensic teams, but it is too degraded to be traceable to any time period. The Catholic Church itself has never formally acknowledged the shroud, though it is kept on display in a cathedral in Turin, Italy. Number 6. The Dancing Plague. In July of 1518, a woman referred to as Frau Trophea stepped into a narrow street in Strasbourg, France, and began a fervent dancing vigil that lasted between 4 and 6 days. By the end of the week, 34 others had joined her, and within a month, the crowd of dancing, hopping, and leaping individuals had swelled to 400. In their hysteria, many in the crowd began to fall from heart attacks, dehydration, strokes, and physical exhaustion. One report of the event indicated that up to 15 people a day were felled by what was eventually named the Dancing Plague. What compelled them to dance to the point of near death? Physicians were consulted, but they could not find a definitive cause. They ruled out supernatural causes, calling it a natural disease caused by hot blood, and encouraged more dancing to relieve it. Modern researchers have speculated that the cause could have been related to ingestion of the ergot fungi, which grows on wheat and contains the toxin ergotamine, a chemical compound similar to LSD that can have psychoactive effects when ingested. Number 5. Blood-stained Nina Craig Miles Crypt. Nina Craig Miles was born to Mira Adelia Thompson Craig Miles and John Henderson Craig Miles on August 5, 1864. As she grew, Nina learned to love riding on a horse-drawn buggy. During one such outing, her grandfather on St. Luke's Day in 1871, the buggy they were riding in was hit full-on by an oncoming train as they were crossing the railroad tracks. 7-year-old Nina was killed on impact. While her family grieved, Nina's father changed his will to include a clause that stated he wished to be buried inside the mausoleum where Nina's ashes rested. John Craig Miles also ensured that an Episcopal church was built in Nina's memory, which included the marble mausoleum in the churchyard to keep Nina's ashes in. The church was named St. Luke's Memorial Episcopal Church and was consecrated in 1872. John died in 1899 and was buried as requested, inside Nina's mausoleum. Sometime later, red stains started appearing on the outside of the mausoleum. Efforts to clean the stains failed, and when the marble blocks were replaced, the stains simply reappeared. In modern times, sightings have been reported of a little ghost girl in 1800s clothing playing outside the mausoleum. The red stains, whom many believe to be blood, are still visible on Craig Miles Mausoleum in Cleveland, and tourists love relating the story. However, the cause of the stains remains a mystery. Number 4. The Devil's Den. In 1946, Catherine Van Alst, an 8-year-old girl who was with her family at Devil's Den State Park, disappeared from their camp and got lost. 6 days later, she was found sitting in a cave approximately 48 kilometers away and 183 meters higher than the spot from which she had disappeared. The thing that perplexed the search party was Catherine's remarkable calmness when they found her. She was reported to have walked peacefully out of the cave and announced, "Here I am." How an 8-year-old girl wearing only a bathing suit managed to travel such a distance and show no signs of harm is still a mystery. Many suggest that something chased Catherine, which is why she strayed so far from the camp. While it likely wasn't a lumbering radioactive Bigfoot, it cannot be denied that it was indeed mysterious, and that something sinister could be lurking in the Devil's Den Park. Number 3. TYSON Time Traveler. On September 18, 2015, video footage of a Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely fight from August 1995 was uploaded to YouTube. Someone in the crowd is seen taking a picture from what appears to be a smartphone device, or a device way ahead of the 90s. Aliens! I don't know if it's a time traveler or not, but no one can explain what camera it is. The clip shown above is real footage from the 1995 Tyson-McNeely fight and does include glimpses of an audience member using a device similar in appearance to a modern camera phone, the first example of which was not sold until 1995. Could this have been a time-traveling boxing fan returning from the near future to witness a particular match in person? Though some have speculated that the object in question is simply an unusual handheld portable camera, its distinct shape, a thin white rectangle with round corners, makes it appear much colder to a modern iPhone. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Number 2. The biggest skeleton ever found. On January 21, 1899, the Miamisburg Daily Telegraph printed the headline, "Gigantic Body Recovered," right after the largest human skeleton ever, or so they thought at the time, was reportedly discovered in Ohio. Scientists estimated the person was just over 244 centimeters, or 8 feet tall. The strange remains were excavated by Edward Kaufman and Edward Gebhardt about 0.8 kilometers, half a mile from Miamisburg, in an area known to contain artifacts from the early Native American mound builders who lived in the area millennia ago. What apparently really puzzled the archaeologists was that the bones were fossilized, suggesting a very extreme prehistoric age. Another perplexing problem was the creature's apparent physique, which was allegedly proportioned like a human, but had a skull more like that of a gorilla. Number 1. Absolutely gigantic. Believe it or not, it was reported in 2015 that what may be the largest human skeleton ever found was unearthed near Ayers Rock. A team of archaeologists from the University of Adelaide supposedly excavated the skeleton, which is a whopping 17 feet 4 inches tall. A man identified as Professor Hans Zimmer of the University of Adelaide was forced to concede the discovery of the Uluru archaeological site already took us by surprise, but this new find is just jaw-dropping. Theoretically, a 5-meter-tall hominid cannot exist. Is this report even true? If it is, how could such a giant be possible? The alleged gigantic human specimen was found near the only known megalith ruins in Australia, which also perplexes the scientists even more. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.